I posted a story on Instagram, a question about what would you like me to talk about in this new video, or what I would like to call it is episode 2. And may I say, I am not surprised, or I was not surprised even for a second when I saw that you wanted me to talk about being alone. But that just tells a lot about our society and my friends. Therefore, today we are talking about loneliness. Incredible topic. It's gonna make me deprived for the rest of the day. First thing that I would like to say is that being lonely and being alone is not the same thing. Feeling this loneliness, this lonely feeling inside of you is not the same as when you are physically being alone. That's something that I would like to put out there, but we will be talking about both of them. This video that I posted, the first one that I actually posted, for most of the people that reach out to me about that video, I didn't expect those specific people to tell me that they are relating to most of the things that I said. I would never say that they are going through that, and they just reminded me how you really don't know what any of us is going through. We can pass by so many people in a day. Just imagine walking through a city full of people and they all look so joyful, and you have no idea anything about their life. And what's even scarier is those are people that we don't know, but the people that are our friends, the people that we spend our time with, the people that we care about are also going through some of the things, and we are not even able to tell whether they are okay or not. The first time so once again, this is my experience, this is my story, this is something that I went through, and I'm not sure if many of y'all can relate to it, but I'm just sharing my experience and the way that I kind of am fighting the loneliness inside of me when I am alone. As I said, being alone and loneliness is not the same thing. Being alone can be actually very much healing, and it can be very, very good for you. The very first time I felt this loneliness was, I would say, about 4.5 years ago, when my family and we had to come back to this village where we lived before. So we moved back all the way to the other part of the country, and I was first year of high school, so I had to leave all of my friends, and that was, let me just say this, those were the first people I have ever really considered my friends, a group of people that I really loved, that I could share anything with, that we spent 24/7 together. We were doing anything together, and it was a very healthy friendship kind of group. And I had to leave them, and I had to leave the school where I finally was accepted the way that I am, since it's art school, obviously. So it was really, really hard for me to move to the other part of a country and leave all those people. So there was so much new impact that I had to leave on these new people that I have no idea anything about, and they have no idea what I'm going through either. So inside of me, I really, really hated everyone and everything. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't care about anyone. I hated physical touch. I hated hugs. I hated word love. Word love was something that I would never say in the conversations. I would never, in the message, I would never send I love you, or I would never send a heart or such thing. And people that know me from back then can tell you that that is true. I hated any form of love, any form of emotion that is like joyful, happy, and such. And the bad thing is I showed it to people that I really do care about, and the people that I didn't know but was supposed to leave a good impression in, those were the people that I was showing this joyful side of me, and happy, and I am so motivated, and I have so much inspiration inside of me, and joy, and the Lord is great, and all of that. Even though I did believe that the God is still here, I just didn't truly know him, obviously, since I didn't have any joy inside of me. I was just faking it. And that all happened because I was fighting so hard to stay with the people I love, so that I'm not alone. But I couldn't do that. And I had to move and leave all of them. So I knew that meant I am now going to be alone. And sure, I'll do it, but don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't look at me. I hate you, I hate everything, and I don't care anymore. I simply just don't care anymore. I just don't want to know anything. Just leave me alone. Just let me do this thing. It will pass, and just don't ask me anything. I just don't want you anywhere around me. And I think that is one thing that can make us feel very lonely. We can be, and I said this so many times in my life, but we can be surrounded with so many people around us. We can have so many people in this one room, and you are standing in a center and you feel more lonely than when you are actually alone in a room. And that is a fact. I've felt it way too many times, and it's the worst feeling. I would rather be lonely, but alone in a room, but being lonely and completely filled in with people around me. It's very bad feeling, and that's the feeling that I'm talking about. So that's what I meant when I said being lonely and being alone is not the same. Being lonely is kind of a feeling, and being alone is physically being alone somewhere. So as I said, first time I felt that was 4.5 years ago, and it was very stressful. It was terrible. I hated it. So I feel like what makes us feel lonely is when this one person that you really, really care about leaves you, or you have to leave them, or you suddenly stop talking, or they disappoint you, or they get mad at you, you disappointed them and such. It doesn't matter how many people are around you or who you're gonna meet that is new. This one person that you truly care about, you are not settled with, and that's what really hurts you. That's what makes you feel lonely. So it doesn't matter how many people you have around you. If that one person you are not good with and you really care about this person, then that is probably what's making you feel super lonely. Growing up and kind of learning what does this feeling inside of me means, what does this loneliness mean, how do I stop it? I've found ways, and this was, I think, the first time I've learned more about it was when we had quarantine 2020. So let me tell you, that was 2 years after. So for 2 years I felt this kind of loneliness feeling inside of me for being alone, and then, or among the people, just generally feeling lonely. And then in 2020 we were in quarantine, and I couldn't see people. And at first I was really, really sad about it, but then it ended up being really good for me because I had so much time in my hands that I didn't know what to do with it. And obviously I had to use it somehow. I started reading the Bible more, spending more time with God without having to worry, where am I supposed to be next? Who am I supposed to call? Where am I supposed to go? And such things. So I would spend more time with God. I found so many new hobbies that I really, really like doing now. I figured out what kind of music I actually enjoy, and this is something that we will be talking a little bit later, but stick around with the music. I started working out every day, which was very, very good for my mental health as well as my physical health. I gained a little more just confidence, I guess, and it was just really good for me. And I would say that had to make a pause. Mama called. Gotta take that call. What was I saying? One thing that I realized is that when we are alone, when we are doing something alone, try doing some things that you would typically do with other people. Or even better, try doing things that you usually wouldn't do because people are around. For example, I would never work out, okay? If I was around people, I would simply not. But when you are alone, you start doing it, maybe you will end up liking it. I started painting so much, reading more books, watching shows I actually like, Maybe other people don't like it, but I like it. But what did I mean when I said do things that you typically would do with other people? For example, watching a movie, or going for a coffee somewhere outside, taking a walk, things like that. Do those things alone at least once, so that you can see how much freedom it actually gives you. Your mind is open, and people around you might look at you as a strange person, like, oh my word, this person in the cafe just drinking, I don't know, lemonade alone or coffee alone here, or reading a book right now, right? That's weird. But that's actually very, very, very good. So try doing things that you would typically do with other people, do them alone. And also, when you are alone, try doing things that you typically wouldn't do with other people. Something that made you not do it before because you felt like you would be judged. There are endless possibilities and experiments when you are alone, and that's something that we are not really using enough, I feel like. So when you are actually alone and it just happens that you are not seeing much people these days, experiment and use that time for yourself, and try finding yourself. Try using that time to find yourself, because today that is very, very hard. And I think that is one of the most important things, actually. I said in just a couple minutes ago, I said that we'll come back to music. Why? When you are lonely, boy, how many times I've started listening to sad songs because I'm lonely and sad. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. And I'm saying this, and I know that the next time I'm sad and alone, I'm going to end up listening to sad songs again. But try your best not to do that, because that's going to kill you completely. Sometimes I'm not even sad and I don't even feel lonely, and this one song comes up and I am gone till the rest of the day. I am not doing well. I am crying. I feel like nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. And this feeling inside of me, it's stupid when you speak about it once it's done, but when it's here, you hate it with everything that you have, because you feel like you are completely alone. Nobody understands you. Everybody hates you. Everyone is just fake to you. This person that loves you actually doesn't. They're all going to leave. You're going to end up being the only person, and you will have no friends. All of your family is going to leave you as well. And so many things actually just start with music. You have no idea how much power the music holds. Sometimes when you are truly sad, you can listen to the happiest song and you will feel still sad. And sometimes when you are happy, you can listen to a sad song and you'll still be happy. But sometimes you are doing just okay-ish, the sad song comes up and you go downhill. Just, I don't know, write it down. Pray to God, tell him, I am feeling this way and this way. I love this song, but it made me really, really sad and I don't want to feel this way. I don't know, just turn on the nice music. I have this one, I'm telling you, whenever just this one sad song comes up and you start being this sad kind of person, right? This feeling comes inside of you, the loneliness. Workout. Trust me, just a very short workout and it can be very, very good for you. And of course, pray. Please pray. Don't forget to pray. I think we often just forget to talk to God. There are a lot of people that are telling me that feeling lonely is actually just because we are not spending enough time with God, and I don't really agree with that. I felt the loneliest, not the loneliest, but I felt very lonely sometimes in the moments when I was actually pretty close to God. I would spend a lot of time with him. I would write, I would sing songs only for him. I would read the Bible every single day. I would have a very good communication with him, and still I was lonely. It isn't always just because you're not spending time with God. Sometimes it is. I do agree with that, but it's not always. Even in the Bible, it says that it is not good for a man to be alone. That's why God gave Eve to Adam. And also we are given church, we are given the community to be as family, because we need each other. We need each other to pray for each other. We need each other to talk about the things that are happening in our lives. But we are living in the community, and we are living in the age where our churches are broken, and they are more hurting us than they are giving us comfort. And that is very, very sad. But how do you deal with that, right? Just need to be here for each other, and we're not talking about it enough. And this is exactly why I'm doing this. I just want to be here for everyone 24 hours for 7 days. And sometimes it's very hard, but what do we do in our moments when the church is broken and you have nowhere to turn to? Well, that's why I want to be here for people. I want to be here for you. I want to be everybody's friend and not be fake about it. I want other people to realize that being fake is not the right way to deal with anything. I just wish that all of us could be a good community and a helpful one. Just a family, just helping each other out with these things. And I do believe that loneliness comes from lack of forgiveness. I believe that if we were forgiving each other more, we would heal faster. If we were showing the kindness of and joy that God and mercy that God is giving us first, there would be less of loneliness as well. I just really believe that our broken churches are a big reason why we are not having trust anymore. But I believe that we also can, and I just don't believe, I just really hope that we can change that in this way as well. I said quite a lot of things, and the last time I was doing this as well, I felt like I said so many things and actually said nothing, because I'm just speaking whatever comes into my mind. But I really hope this was helpful. I hope that some of you can relate to it. I gave my own example and just my experience, and I hope that some of you can relate to it. I feel like a few minutes wouldn't be enough to really speak about it. Maybe sometimes later in the future I'll be talking about this again if something new comes to my mind. But I have one conclusion that I would like to put out there, which is that when you are alone, what you choose to do and feel, it can impact you. The music that you listen to, shows that you watch, people that you are texting, and I don't know, how much you are reading your Bible. The things that you choose to do, such as, I don't know, whatever you are passionate about, all of that can impact you. And this is one thing that I wrote. This was just lately, I think. I have a notebook where I'm writing a bunch of stuff, a bunch of my thoughts, and this was not so long ago, but I feel like it was one of those moments when I was not really feeling good, and I was alone, and I felt like I'm not productive enough, that I'm lonely and lazy. So I decided to read it for you. And it says like this. So these are my words from about a month ago, I think. The birds fly so gently, they fly around together, seems like a slow motion. While we worry about everything else, they fly. To have a life is already stressful enough, but what makes life alive is these things. Talking to people, smiling together, listening to gentle music, sending as many hugs as possible, speaking love, taking walks, loving, caring, sipping coffee, reading what you love, listening to what you love, watching who you love. If that one thing got settled, that one thing that's stressing you right now, would it all magically disappear? All that's holding you back, is it really about one thing, or is it just you? Holding yourself back. The clock is ticking, coffee is getting cold, paint is drying, and nothing is undoable. It's you in your own time limits, and that's something that I really do agree with. It's you in your own time limit, and we are most of the time the only ones limiting ourselves when we have the time and place to do things that God wants us to use to grow in faith and build our character. Well, that would be it for today. I have no idea what else to say. I will have to find a way to actually end these things because I'm terrible and I don't know. Bye.